in association with Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, will be both proud to present Thomas and Friends, the Great Turkey. One day, Thomas was puffing cheerfully along his branch lined with Annie and Clarabelle. What a nice day, he thought. Why is it a nice day? Because, Annie, the sun is out, the birds are chirping, and there's a small engine twice as small as Charlie. What the what? Ah! Screech! Ah! Ow! Sorry, said Thomas. I never really meant to bump into you, but the little engine didn't say a word. He just puffed away back down the other line. I wonder what's with that engine, said Thomas. Meanwhile, I should head to Knapford Station, he said. Meanwhile, Toby was trundling slowly to Knapford Station when he passed Arlesburg. Just then, honk honk, something startled Toby. Oh, cried Toby, and he trundled off as fast as he could, right next to where Oliver was. Toby, relax, said Oliver. Besides, what are you doing here? I was just on my way to Knapford, said Toby. But something startled me. Make that someone startled you, sissy, said a voice. Who said that? Said Toby. He then backed up to find who the voice was. Up here, said the voice. Toby blinked and was startled. Up on the chute beside him was a small grey diesel engine. He didn't look very happy. I'm sorry, said Toby, but how rude of you to call me a sissy and to startle me like that. He's right, Frank, said Oliver. Apologize. Frank? Yes, my name is Frank. Oh, said Toby. Wait, you mean Franz? No, my name is actually Frank, said Frank. But I think I'd like to have that as my nickname. It makes me feel like I'm from France. But anyways, as I was saying, what are you doing here? Don't mind him, Mr. Toby, said Toad. He's grumpy most of the time. No, I'm not, said Frank. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Toad, Frank. By the way, I'll see you later. Goodbye, Toby, said Frank. Goodbye, Frank. So long, Oliver. You too, Toad. Goodbye, Toby. Goodbye, Mr. Toby. They said as Toby trundled to Knapford. Once he finally arrived, he saw that it was a big mess. What happened here? Said Toby. Well, said Percy, I ran out of cold water. He means that the signal is jammed, said James. Not that he's ran out of water. But me and Percy are stuck right here until the points are jammed. And right over here, Henry's in Duck's way since Henry's safety valve had popped off. And now let me guess, I'm stuck behind you, Percy, said Toby. That's right, said Percy. Just then, peep, peep. Oh dear, here comes Thomas, said Toby. And he was right. Oh my God, look out, Duck. Huh? Cried Duck. But it was already too late. Thomas bashed into the back of Duck. And Clarabelle flew into the air and right off the rails. Oh dear! What happened up there? I don't know, said Thomas, but there's been an accident. Oh, I should agree, said Duck. Now, Thomas, it looks like you're stuck behind Duck, and it looks like Anya and Clarabelle have derailed, so you can't go back or forward. Oh, you've got to be serious. You know, said Thomas, we should be thankful no one was inside my coaches. Indeed, said Percy, except for the guard. But don't worry about that, he's not hurt. Of course he's not, said Clarabelle. He's fine. Just then Gordon arrived. What happened here? He asked. The Express doesn't wait for messes to be cleaned up. Sorry, Gordon, said James. But you're gonna have to wait until this mess is cleaned up. For now, you're stuck behind Percy and Toby. Dang it, said Gordon. And he was right. Soon, Luckily, Gordon Gordon puffed off to fetch the breakdown train. But the breakdown train was being used for an accident. So he had to collect the workmen. First, he took Henry to the steamworks to get repaired. So that Duck could puff off. Then he puffed onto the other line and pulled Thomas out of the way and shunted him behind Henry. Then, right when he was ready, the workmen buffed and coupled him up. The workmen coupled strong chains up between Gordon and Annie, and then he pulled Annie back onto the rails. Then he shunted her in front of Thomas. And last of all, when the strong chains were in between Gordon and Clarabelle, he pulled Clarabelle back onto the rails and then shunted her in front of Annie. Soon, then the workmen went to the signal box to mend the signals. Soon the signals were fixed, and soon Percy and Toby could be off. Then James puffed away. And Thomas puffed off to collect his passengers. Well, Gordon, on the other hand, took Henry to the steamworks to be mended. But that night, Thomas and the other engines were talking about how Gordon managed to fix everything and get things straight. Not to worry, said Toby. Luckily, I've got a story to tell. Which is a Thanksgiving story, since it's going to be Thanksgiving soon. What's it called? Asked Duck. It's called The Great Turkey, said Toby. A long, long time ago, there was a turkey who lived with a man. The man had magical powers. One day, him and the turkey were riding inside an old engine, which was a tram just like me. But then, suddenly, the engine crashed. But it wasn't really a tram. But still, the engine crashed. The man was dead, but the turkey wasn't. He remembered that the man had given him powers to survive during lots of crashes. And if he ever finds anyone with the Thanksgiving spirit, then you know what he does? What? Asked James. Nobody knows, said Toby. Although legend says, if you find the engine that pulled the coaches that the man and the turkey were in, then she will lead you right to where the accident was. And then, if you see a turkey bigger than us engines, then he is the Great Turkey. I want to find him, said Thomas. Me too, said Percy. Stuff and nonsense, said Gordon, and everyone else agreed. It's just a silly old story, said Henry. Of course, the Great Turkey is not real. Well, the legend is real.